Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another installment in our Golf Blitz Tips and Tricks series. Today we will be looking at a really fun course that I've been looking forward to covering, and that is Tour 15 Dry Planet. Now, I know that there are a couple of tours here that we still need to cover and backtrack and do a little bit. Namely, we need to do Autumn Meadows 2 and Boneyard. But we will get around to those, I promise that we will. But today we're going to focus on Dry Planet, and things have been shuffled around a little bit in these list of tours, but the Tours 15, they're all basically the same in terms of the difficulty that you would need to find, and we will get to all of them eventually. So if you are excited to listen to a little bit more about Dry Planet and how to succeed when playing this course, make sure that you leave a like on today's video, and don't forget to subscribe for that daily variety content because it keeps your subscription feed exciting with new videos every single day. But let's go ahead and jump into Dry Planet and see what strategies you should employ on these courses. So starting off, we have a course that's a lot of fun. You have this laser that raises up and down. And what I generally recommend doing is you'll want to bank off of that wall, and then you can make your way down towards the bottom portion. However, if you have the sticky ball, or the gooey ball, you may be able to pull off a strategy that allows you to circumvent this laser just a little bit. So we're going to hope and pray that I can make it through there. I'm going to get burned out by that laser, or not quite. But now I can continue up to this portion here where I'm again out of sight of the laser, and then make our way up and around that top area. So if you're on the bottom portion or that lower step, you are going to be safe from the laser, but if you can find ways to circumvent it, that's always a good option as well. The shield ball and laser ball do make you intangible to that laser while it's going, so that's a strategy that you can employ as well. So here on this one, there's a couple of different approaches that you can take. The best thing to do by far is to just kind of make a shot that lets you hang out here in this little void space, because barring the ghost ball and other intangibility type options, or the saw ball that will saw through your position, you're now in a position where you can get hit over by an opponent into this zone, which gives you a free follow-up into the next shot, or it just kind of inconveniences the people behind you to the point where you can take advantage of it. Now, you do want to time that shot to the point where just as the laser is coming up and across, that you are taking advantage of going up and over. And then you can do something similar here if you time it correctly, by taking a shot up and over the top right when that laser hits the bottom part of that corner. Now, if you use the fast forward ball, you may come in with a little bit too much power, and you can end up on the laser on the back end. But as a general rule, those are some good strategies for getting around things. If you don't want to go up and over the laser, you can always take the under route that tends to be a little bit safer and definitely more covered from the laser rotation block that's there. Here's another fun one, and this one is pretty tricky if you are not familiar with the mechanics of it. Basically, there's a little channel here that you're going to want to try and make your way through, and there is a bunch of lasers along that section that can really kind of mess you up. So you'll either want to get a little bit closer before attempting a run up that way, or you will want to make your way over and down. And right here, we're going to get burned by that laser, which actually worked out in my favor because now I have a static starting point as opposed to having to wait or take a shot from that lower ground there again. From here, the best thing that you can do is to take a higher bank shot so you can roll your way along that green without overpowering and going through the laser or falling off that back end. And those are a couple of the approaches that you can take for that area specifically. A lot of laser play present in this map. So this section is another one that can be a little bit interesting and tricky. What you'll want to do is take a shot immediately as soon as you're able to move. That is going to end up getting you burnt there at the end, but it gets you out of that corner and in a more favorable spot to take an action. You can then sometimes get lucky, or if you time your shot correctly, you can get very fortunate with that bounce that you saw me take there. And then from here, you'll just want to make your way down to the base of this little platform there. Generally, if you roll across that ramp, you'll end up in a safe enough spot. Or if you go closer towards the lip of that ledge, you can get a more favorable follow-up onto the green. And it's a very small green platform there at the end. So this hole is another one that can be a little bit interesting. Now, the path that you're going to take 90% of the time is going to be off of this lip right here and down into the bottom section, where you'll then just kind of need to jostle for position around where you're going to be. However, if you do have access to the gooey ball, you can take a shot and pivot over here on the wall, where you can then gain access to the lower portions of the course. Now, the shield ball is a really good power-up to have on this hole if you are fortunate enough to get it, but if not, it's not the end of the world, because, well, there is a couple of different options that you can use for working around that, as long as you have your timing correctly. Now, from here, you're just going to want to make your way off of that rotating block. You'll then want to wait things out to the point where you can end up here. And this is where you can take a couple of different options. Unless you have an accelerated travel option, such as the Super Ball or other things here, you'll want to take a shot up here onto this platform and make sure that you avoid getting contacted by the laser as it spins around. But if you do have options such as the Super Ball, then you can take your path directly up the top. You may even be able to bank off of that top dome with the right angle, but honestly, that's a more risky play if you try to use it at all, and it could very, very easily backfire on you. Now, this one is another hole that is quite a bit of fun. Now, what you'll need to do initially is make your way down here. You are likely going to get burned by that laser, assuming that you don't have a shield ball or something else that's going to render you immune. And then you'll just want to make sure that you time your follow-up shot correctly onto that portion there. Otherwise, again, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. Now, from here, we'll see if we can get around that laser. I don't think we're going to get nicked by it here on the back end, but we've still got plenty of time to make our way into the hole. Actually, we would have certainly gotten nicked by that laser. So as long as you're familiar with the timing on that, you should be able to get through it fairly easily. So here is another really interesting hole. This one is cool because it has two different paths that you can take. There's first off the path over here to this far end, which is sometimes the quicker of the two paths if you can make your way over here, because you don't have to worry about doubling back or this little water hazard that's in the way. But instead, you can just kind of snake your way down and around these little laser grids as they pop in and out. And I got very, very fortunate there that that didn't backfire on me. Now, if you have something like the shield ball, then you should be able to make your way through this course a lot quicker. If not, you'll just need to be very familiar with the timings on those lasers to the point where you get around it. Of course, the only other real braking mechanics to this course is the addition of the spider ball and the bury ball, but those are more high-level advanced moves once you get to that point in the game anyway. Oh boy, this is one of those courses that really, really makes me nervous. And a lot of it's due to the fact of just how the map is laid out in general. There's a lot of these moving laser grids that can be particularly difficult to navigate around. Now, that first one isn't bad because if you have a laser ball, like I just kind of demonstrated there, you can move freely throughout that area without having to worry about anything. But this next portion is the one that you're going to run into a lot of problems with. Now, the safest method is slowly rolling down these little hills, and you can then make your way down towards the green. Now, if you have particularly good timing on some of your shots, you may be able to make your way around to the wall and make your way down, but this is one that I routinely struggle with. It's one that a lot of people really struggle with as well. So you'll kind of want to time your shot to the point where right as these lasers dissipate, that you're kind of rolling off of this little null there, and it's tricky. It's really, really tricky to do. As you see, I'm likely going to run out of time on this, but that's okay if you do. Once you're down here towards the bottom, you actually may be able to sneak in there at the very bottom because you have more time before that last laser activates. It's still a very scary hole that I don't like playing a whole lot, but again, if you have something like the laser ball, that first part's made significantly easier, and if you have the shield ball, you basically don't have to worry about anything because you can bypass all of the different hazards. Okay, this is another one that can be kind of fun and interesting. Now, this hole, there's two different ways that you can go about it. One is incredibly risky, but I'm at least going to attempt it off of the start here. Now, that involves going up and over the top here and right down through that little crevice. I'm going to try it one more time because we were very close that time around to actually getting it to work. You'll want to only attempt this if you have the shield ball, and if you have that, you can bypass that completely. If not, you're going to want to time your way around these lasers here at the start, and then make your way down to this portion of the course. But if you have the ability to cut that portion of the hole out of the equation altogether, then you're going to have a significant leg up on your opponents. This is another one of those big reasons why I put a lot of focus on my accuracy and accuracy on most of my power-ups, except for the aggressive and deterrent ones, because it does allow you to make some of those technical shots a lot sooner in the game than other of your opponents would. Well, I've played through the course a couple of different times. I think I've hit everything that we wanted to talk about for Dry Planet. So I really hope that that helps. Again, there's a couple of strategies in there that really help me quite a bit, and there's others that I'm still trying to figure out as well. So if you have recommendations for some of the things that I'm struggling with and you'd like to drop that in a comment down below, please feel free to do so. And other than that, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you haven't done so already, please leave that like, and don't forget to subscribe for the daily variety content. Thanks so much for your time, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day.